Yeah, see, seasons nowadays are shorter anyway. So
Yeah, it's 12 episodes, dude.
I agree with you guys. It just didn't have the same impact as the first one.
No, I mean they started off too slow.
they do that though. They start things, and if I like, not everything I like. Don't get me wrong, but I really like that one. That one could have gone for another season or two, and I will watch it. There was one called. Do you remember one called Terra Nova? It
Yeah.
was like
Yeah,
kind of like a Stargate kind of a feel to a dinosaur planet.
Huh.
They could have
yeah,
done 3 or 4 more seasons of that for me, man. I thought that was excellent.
Well, it was supposed to be another planet, but what it actually ended up being was our planet
back
just
in
back in the
time.
time, yeah.
Yeah, back in time. Yep.
And then you had like these evil factions that were trying to change the history and all this other crazy stuff going on. But if they had kept it just as another planet, I think the series could have really taken off. But that whole time travel stuff, I don't know. Do you guys like that? I think it's kind of a cheat in when it comes to
Yeah,
writing. You know, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. They could pretty much do whatever they want and then erase it when they feel like it's gone down the path of craziness. It just doesn't quite sit well with me.
yeah. Stargate Universe was quite good though, and they cut it off.
I couldn't get into that one, man. I liked all the other Stargates except for Stargate or Battlestar Galactica Universe is what I call it, because they brought over like all the writers from Battlestar when it shut down, and they brought over a lot of the actors from that one too, and it just came like this drama show, which the other ones really weren't about. Like nobody cared who was sleeping with who on the other Stargate ones, but it became like a big thing on the new one, so it changed it a lot though. So I'm glad somebody liked it.
They're supposed to do a remake of the Stargate original,
The TV show or the movie?
the movie. They're gonna do a reboot.
Kurt Russell was pretty good in that one. Got their job cut out for
Was
him.
it?
Yeah, Kurt
Yeah.
Russell was in that sucker. He's the guy who's going to stay behind and commit suicide, Harry Carey,
Right.
with the nuclear bomb. Let's see. The best shows were the cappy British shows like Blake Seven and Red Dwarf. I saw Red
Babylon
Dwarf.
5 for me.
Babylon 5 was amazing. I love that one. I'll still go back and watch that one again from time to time. We got a pop over here in the room.
Yep, 2 Beatles.
Two Beatles. Take them.
Yeah, one. Yeah, yeah.
You guys have a favorite movie or a TV show that maybe didn't get a lot of love back then?
That didn't get on. Nah, not that I remember, to be honest, from way back then. But like I said, that one, Terra Nova for sure, man. What?
Babylon 5 was really good. Yeah, Monk. I liked Babylon 5 solely for the fact that they talked about all the intrigue of what governments do with one another or to one another in a way that made it not just so much about, oh, you killed this person, so now I'm going to kill you. It wasn't all character development. It was actually race development. They developed the Narn, they developed the Centauri, they developed the humans, and later on in the series, when they wanted to show actions without actually showing them, you already knew it was going to happen because you understood how these different races interacted with one another. You knew they were going to betray one another when it came to the Narn and the Centauri, no matter how much they were friends, because they spent like a season talking about how they hated each other and showed it in very, very different ways again and again and again.
But the character development wasn't just like one season like sometimes TV shows do. It was actually the whole series.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you seen Jakar start out as like the rough guy, and he was like, I have to kill this Centauri, and then over the seasons he just kind of mellowed out, and he became more of a really interesting character to like.
It became wiser, I think is what it was. He lived a rough life. He had some really bad things happen to him, lost an eye, stuff like that, and then learned, it seemed like, from some of it, didn't learn from other ones. Very human, very very personal.
I mean,
like you could touch
he
base
was
with
my
him.
favorite character. He was really. Most people said, "Oh no, it's the Vorlon."
The Vorlons?
No, it's Jakar.
Yeah, the Vorlons they didn't do very much with. Obviously, they couldn't because they were like the end-all, be-all of like the aliens that existed, with the shadows and everything else. But Like I like Garibaldi a lot.
Yeah.
I like.
Oh, he just passed away not long ago too, and that sucks.
Oh man, I didn't know that.
They're just dropping off like flies. I hate that.
It shows that
Or-
you're getting older. When you start seeing
Yeah.
people that you care about and people that you grew up watching start falling out.
You know the Doc, he died right after the show ended, and so did Jakar.
Oh
And
no way,
the
really?
Doc was the Doc was only 40. He was like 42. He had some heart complications.
He also did a another television show with Trimmers. I don't know how many of you guys ever watched
Yeah,
Trimmers, but
I watched them. That's funny.
they did a television show. They brought in the Doc from Back to the Future. He was a scientist they had in there. They also brought in the Doc from Babylon 5, but I didn't hear about his passing either, so that's unfortunate. Little known fact that you guys might not be aware of is Danger Will Robinson, the little kid from that TV show, was the what's his name? It wasn't Veer. It was the guy who worked
He was
for the ambassador from. I can't,
Billy Mummy or Bill
yeah,
Mummy?
Bill Mummy. Yeah,
Yeah,
the bonehead guys. I can't even think of the name of the race anymore.
yeah. Ambassador Delenn.
Yeah, he worked for her. I watched the behind the scenes though, where they were talking to Garibaldi, and they asked him, they're like, "What's with those lines on his head?" Because he actually had little lines right here, and he said he got stuck in his mother when he was being born, and the doctor used the forceps to pull him out by his head,
Yeah.
and he squeezed a little too hard, and it left indentations of the forceps on his head for the rest of his life. So that's kind of interesting to see how something like that can make you. Because there's people out there with like a messed up nose, they won't fix it, or they have gaps in their teeth and they don't fix it. And it's a distinguishable characteristic about them that without that, they may not have gotten the roles that they got, or may become a little bit more forgetful, or not as memorable, I guess, in some ways.
Oh, sick.
Lost in Space is the name of that one, yeah. And they did do a remake of that one. It wasn't as good as it could have been. I think they had the guy from Friends. He was coming off of that success, and they thought maybe, oh, he's great in that show. Put him in a movie, make him one of the stars or the star of the show, and he could carry it for you. He wasn't horrible in it, but yeah, the movie itself overall, just not all that great. I would love to see them do a movie or a television adaptation of Everquest, though. Can you guys imagine that?
They're gonna mess it up. They already messed up World of Warcraft.
That one actually got a lot of love. People seem to like that one.
I think everybody wanted to see Arthur.
Yeah,
Death.
but I think the key to making a movie based off of a video game is to not do what has already been done.
Yeah.
Don't just rehash it, because you're never going to get it right, and you're probably just going to tick people off that know what you were supposed to do, and you're going to confuse everybody else who has no idea what the game is about because they never played it. So they do got to be done a little differently. What about you, Nano? Do you have a game that you would love to be seen made into a movie?
Fallen State.
He might have. He might be AFK for a second. Or he might have his mute on and not realize it. You have one, Guyvan? A game that you would love to see made into a movie? Because they tried Assassin's Creed, and they, in my opinion, failed on that one miserably. It wasn't, again, it wasn't really horrible, but they changed a few details that really kind of ticked me off. The cutting of the finger off, it's not in the game anywhere. Like those guys all have their hands and the fingertips and everything else. And then they picked a story of him being in the Animus without actually going into the Animus and showing him go through the world. Like, it was just kind of like this spectral haze they showed for about 10 seconds and then threw him into a room. They concentrated on the wrong part of that video game. You know, you got to be in the room, you got to look around, you're in that little thing, yeah. But the most enjoyable part of that video game was being in that Animus and seeing the 16th century or the 17th century, talking to Leonardo da Vinci, finding out about your ancestors, jumping around from, 50 years to 60 to 70 in a heartbeat, and just reliving, experiences that were so dynamic and so intoxicating that you felt like you wanted to see more. A Zelda movie? A live action or animated? Because I think Zelda has been done as a video game in both. Like, you've seen Wind Waker was kind of more of a animated version of a Zelda game, and then some of the newer ones have gotten more realistic now that Nintendo has finally upgraded their resolution past, like 480, I think is what they were stuck at for like 20 years. One of the last ones to ever push the envelope in that respect. The EQ movie should be 4 hours of grinding at the pond in Mistmore from the healer's perspective. There's so much lore in Everquest, though. Like, you could do it from any point of view, and you would have plenty of story to go along. I think it's going to get to that point regardless with VR. Video games that are in that format, it's going to be like watching a movie or being part of the movie. Ooh, like a Lord of the Rings type? Man, if you could get the success that you had with Lord of the Rings and something that is just as engaging, at least with the first one. The ones with the dwarves and the barrels bouncing around, I believe that one was The Hobbit, when they did those movies. Those were so ridiculous, so over the top. I still like the movies, but they weren't to me a Lord of the Ring type movie. They were very much cartoony, even though they weren't.
Yeah, the cartoon was a lot better.
the old one from like the 70s?
Yeah, right.
I tried watching that one once. I couldn't do it. My favorite time travel movie has to be Time Bandits. Oh, man. That is great. Fantastic when he comes out and he finds out that, she's pregnant. Like, there's a young version of him fighting.
Orson Welles' The Time Machine, man. Come on.
Old school or the new one? The classic one?
The old school, yeah. In 1959?
It's a good one. Very much a slower type paced movie. It's not one that's really going to be, action everywhere. Time Bandit was more action mixed in with comedy. Space herpes.
What was that? The Never-Ending Story?
Never-Ending Story was good. I like the music in that one.
He cried over the horse.
There was another one where the hero had a special weapon. It looked like a six point star or something, and had little knives that came out the end of it. And he was chasing a castle that moved around every 24 hours or something.
Right.
And, there was a labyrinth that he went in there with the big spider web, and every time he touched the spider web, it would make a noise, and the spider would come out.
And the old man had to go in. Because he knew the woman's name that was the watcher of the spider.
Yeah. Kroll, there you go.
Kroll, yeah. Oh, those old movies, man, they're just great.
Yeah,
I don't like any of the new stuff now.
you know, the one thing about the old movies, and not to be like, oh, all the new movies suck and everything, but the one thing I noticed about the old movies is they had a lot of catchphrases, things that you could quote to your friends. And when I watch like the new Avengers movies, which I like a lot of them, they're not as
Fun,
filled
fun.
with catchphrases. Like Spider-Man. You know, Spider-Man used to have "Here's web in your eye." You know, like that was his thing. Or he used to say little quirks, little things to make fun of the bad guy as he was jumping around the room, just to tick him off, make him lose his balance and do something that he would regret. Didn't see that in the last Spider-Man movie. I get they were trying to go with a younger version of him, somebody who wasn't quite trained enough to feel that comfortable around the bad guys. But you know, Spider-Man to me will always be that guy. That's just so
Cocky.
yeah. Just that's exactly what he is. He's cocky. He's good, but not too good. He still gets his butt kicked from time to time, and he learns from his lessons a little bit. You know, it's just you need those catchphrases, man. I feel like you got to have it.
You know, I was trying to think, what was the top Arnold Schwarzenegger movies that most people liked? And I was thinking always Commando.
Commando, yeah, that's what I was thinking right off the bat. Commando. Not a lot of catchphrases in that one, but some really good scenes.
Oh my God, when he held that guy over the cliff, that was just so hilarious.
Or he rips the seat out of the little tiny Porsche
Yeah.
so he can actually fit into it. I'm like, yep, you know, Arnold probably could do that.
I love. What was it? He goes, "Remember, Sully? I promised to kill you last." Yeah, Matrix, you did. He goes, "I lied." That was so fucking funny.
The bad guy, unfortunately, you know, like with the chainmail, I was like, who dressed this dude? Didn't really fit. I didn't understand what was going on. Plus, he was kind of like an overweight guy, and I'm like, this guy was never going to be able to stand against Arnold Schwarzenegger. Of course, looking at it from like a kid's point of view, but you know, if you're talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger, probably Terminator would be like everybody would be the go-to movie if they
No.
had to
I
pick
was
something.
thinking Predator or Commando.
Predator is a good one. I ain't got time to bleed.
Oh, was it the other one? Honeyman? No, that was.
Honey,
No, it's not Honeyman.
twins?
Oh,
Junior?
the futuristic one when he was in the chair.
Oh, and they make a copy of him. Seventh Day?
Yeah.
6 days? Seventh Day?
No. 80s, early 80s. Come on, they did the remake.
Oh, Total Recall?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Get your butt to Mars.
I'll be back.
Get to the chopper. Pumping Iron doesn't get enough recognition. You know, I think the very first movie I ever saw him in was Conan.
Yeah.
Before he could really speak proper English, and you didn't really understand a word he was saying.
Perfect role.
You have a favorite one, Chupa? Arnold Schwarzenegger movie?
Probably Conan, yeah.
They even made a spin-off of that, which is almost unheard of back then, which is the Red Sonja movie. True Lies? True Lies is popular, I think. I like that one a lot.
That was pretty funny.
I mean, you know, it had a fish called Wanda in it. You know,
Jamie Lee Curtis.
there you go.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
A fish called Wanda. Really, man?
like I can remember what movies they're in, but I'm horrible with names. I've told you guys that in the past.
Halloween.
I was about to name all
Freaky
of it.
Friday.
But yeah, she's very, very beautiful, and she does like a little striptease in that one to Arnold in a chair. So, you know, memorable. Besides that, really, really good movie. I mean, just the fact that they brought her in there, and she has this one scene where she drops a Uzi, and it just like bounces down the stairs. Very, very unbelievable. But at the same time, the look of like shock on her face as she's like dancing around upstairs and trying to get out of the range of the bullets, and everybody else downstairs getting shot from the
She's the queen of scream, dude. It's almost second nature for her.
Yeah, she's good at it though. Until she did those Freaky Friday remakes, and then I was like, you know, not the greatest.
Hey,
choice,
bro,
I
everybody
guess.
needs a paycheck, so you know.
I don't begrudge her.
Relax.
I don't begrudge her. I'm just saying it's not one of the greatest movies ever.
You still need that res, man?
No. I got picked up by George, the other streamer. I should say his name.
Costanza?
The Mick FX.
Oh, Mac-Effects.
I'm terrible with names too. Don't feel bad. Yeah, I'm absolutely horrible with names. I will never forget a face. So if you are or ever have been in a movie, I could probably name you like every movie you were in, but not your name. She's also the hooker in Trading Places. Another good movie.
Entrepreneur. All right, let's not be calling nasty names around here.
Yeah, because she turned it around real quick when she got a little bit of money. She was working with those guys. They did a scene in one of the movies. Was it Coming to America? Where the people from Trading Spaces, the two older gentlemen.
Mortimer!
Yeah,
Mortimer! We're back! I'm still not talking to you.
Yeah, they're living out like in a trash heap or something like that. He tosses them just like this giant wad of money.
They're on the freaking on the river, just sleeping on the river.
Yeah, I would love to see the sequel to that though. Wouldn't you have like them coming back from that and rebuilding their success? And I don't know, maybe it would have been really really bad, but
both of the movies were awesome.
Yeah, I liked it. Back when Eddie Murphy did adult movies.
Good.
Well, I was gonna say he does a lot of kid movies. He did like the Mulan ones, which I thought was still pretty good. He did. I mean, that's the Shrek ones.
That's different though. Yeah, that's different. Dr. Dolittle. It really got bad when he was doing what was the Pluto one or whatever it is.
Oh, Pluto Nash
one. Yeah, Pluto Nash. There you go.
Yeah, you know, he did. I think at that point he had a kid of his own, right? So he was doing all these movies maybe for his kid.
Bro, he was just looking for a paycheck. Let's be real.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know what was going through his mind, but you know, you look at like oh man, what was the ones that he did where he was a cop? It's not Lethal
Beverly Hills
Weapon.
Cop.
Beverly Hills Cop. There you go.
They were good.
Those were really good. He did three movies to that.
First one was great. Second one was good. Third one was.
I like the third one just because they brought Serge back into it, or Serge.
Serge. Ackwell.
Holy crap, man! That's a long call.
Get the guy out of here.
Bro, man. No means no. Just tell them no.
What happened to our group, guys? Where'd everybody go?
They're still here.
Oh, good.
Ackwell Folly.
What about Bad Boys? I heard they're gonna do a new one.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, there's talks about a third one.
I don't know. I didn't really like the first or second one. I would love to see a sequel to Hot Fuzz with those two guys.
Super Trooper 2 is coming out next year, right?
Is it? I know they talked about that one coming out. I didn't know if like anything ever actually happened with that.
There's a trailer out for it on the YouTubes. I saw it earlier today.
Beer Fest, maybe? Beer Fest in the future could be coming out. That'd be nice. Or was it
Back to the Future too?
Back to the what?
Back to the Future.
Um,
Michael J. Fox and they made a new one. I don't know if it's coming.
Did they really? They made a remake of Back to the Future.
I haven't heard that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Continuation of it.
Oh, is it going to be like his kids?
The train,
Yeah,
dude. The train.
Right, it's supposed to pick off right after the first one. It's supposed to be about his kids.
What they show him in the movie? They showed him in I think the second one where they go into the future.
Yeah, this one's supposed to be more detailed and everything.
Like you're fine, you're kids.
And here's a note: you can read it in 20 years. We don't need to go into the future. You know, like all you need to do is change his past self, and you were good. But I did like the old Western one. I thought that one was pretty good.
3, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was number 3.
That 3?
Dirty Harry. What was his name?
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
Oh, Clint Eastwood.
He always picked a very, very no name, Ralph Lauren, because of his underwear. Why do you have another man's name on your underwear?
I always thought it was funny his mom tried to hit on him.
This is weird, dude.
Unless your mom looks like that, I guess. She was in a lot of movies back then, too, and then she kind of just faded away. I don't know whatever happened. I just can't watch those Back to the Future movies anymore. They were good at the time, but I think I burnt out on them. You could do that with any movie. I did that with Stargate. I had the laser disc of Stargate with that
Laser disc.
Yeah, I'm old. I'm really old.
Age, bro. Age.
You know, it's coming out. It's showing a little bit.
VHS?
I got a VCR hooked up to my TV out here, man. Still, just so you know.
I think they still make VCRs, right? A little bit. They might be hard to find, but I think they make them. I think the Laserdisc was one of those fads that really never caught on and just disappeared as soon as DVDs came out.
I don't think they still make them. Maybe somewhere, but I doubt it.
Broken Lizard was doing crowdfunding for, I think, Super Troopers 2. So you might be right, Shoops. That might be coming out really soon.
I mean, it is coming out. There's a preview for it, so I mean, it's just a matter of when they're actually going to bring it out. I guess it's post-production right now.
All right, 2 Lava Beetles.
There's some good B movies out there that I don't know why they don't even try to make any more of them. I love the Starship Troopers, man.
Yeah, Starship Troopers was pretty good. They just did an
Always
animated.
more of those.
Yeah, an animated one not too long ago.
Animated. They're okay.
And Steven
B
Seagal
movies?
is still coming out with B movies. I mean, that's all he does.
You mean like Sharknado?
No, that would be more on like the F scale. They're good, they're funny, but they're definitely not within the B range. Need a bigger budget.
I think I'm too close now. Can you pull that guy back a little bit, AC?
Yep. Well, I mean, there's pets there, but
Yeah, because the other one's hitting me.
It's almost dead now.
Fine.
let's see. Yeah, Laserdisc was the. It was pretty good when it was around. It was definitely better than VHS because you didn't have those lines in it. You had no tracking you had to work out. And if you were going to watch the movie a lot, which I did with that Stargate one, the VHS wouldn't last. Like, it would really, really go bad very quickly at that point.
Tape would break.
Or deteriorate every time you watched it, a little bit worse. Or, you know, the thing that's tended to happen to my tapes more often than not is the VHS would get eaten by the machine, and then it would just be ruined after that.
Yeah.
You need to clean your rollers, man. What's wrong with you?
You know, you could make cuts and fix it here and there, but yeah, I didn't put that tape in there when I was a kid to clean the rollers as much as I probably should have.
That tape actually damages more than anything else, and you gotta have the right kind of alcohol.
Oh well, then I guess it's a good thing I never used that thing.
Yeah, those tapes. When I go into work, I see somebody using those tapes to clean out the heads on the VCRs that we had at work, and I just want to punch them in the face. What are you doing? Clean the heads, like, bro. We get trained for this stuff. Use the right things. It takes 2 seconds.
And cotton swab and a little bit of alcohol.
Oh, not cotton. Oof. Clog the heads. They made head cleaning Q-tip like things with a chamois on the end of it. Not like a chamois you use for a car, but it's kind of the same material.
Like computer screens now or glasses.
You talking about the microfiber stuff?
Yeah.
No. It literally looked. I mean, it felt almost just like a chamois, just way more dense. It didn't tear off easily or anything like that, so you can just. Yeah, I'm geeking out now. Never mind.
No, I kind of like that because I didn't get into maintaining VCRs. What I'm kind of curious is like how people did it.
That's what I came in for when I first came in. It was all audio video maintenance type stuff, long row processors.
That's what I need to get into. Is just
I'm a dinosaur.
It's a lost art, but you never know if they have the need for it in the future. Like you got that
Shit.
experience.
No, that ain't happening, bro.
Yeah, you never know.
Are you coming back over here, Chupa? By the way,
I am not. No, I'll probably here in a bit. I'll probably be rolling out again to go get the kids ready for bed.
Just wondering. We had a spot. I didn't know if you were camped here and coming back or what.
I'm camped. I'm camped just outside, but yeah, dude, I don't want to come in, get a few kills, and then have to roll out again.
Okay, dude. Okay.
Next, he's going to bring up his Betamax player. Actually, I never had a Betamax player, but I did use Betamax from time to time. It's interesting, you know. It's a technology that never really took off here in the United States as much as it did in Japan, I think.
Japan and Europe use a lot of Betamax.
Yeah, you'll see it in their anime. Like that's what they refer to. They don't refer to like VHS. It's all Betamax.
Yeah.
I watched the original Tron movie with my best friend so many times on Laserdisc. The movie was so good. It's still really good.
Original Tron?
Yeah. The remake of the Tron... Yeah. It's the best I can say about that. Wasn't as good as I was hoping it was going to be. It's hard to capture that magic again. I did like seeing the arcade at the very beginning. You guys need to check out a good B movie named Rubber. Oh man, is that the one about the tire? I think that's the one you're talking about. It's a tire that kills people.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where the rubber meets the road?
It's a weird movie, dude. That's all
Is it attached to a car?
No, no. It is just a tire rolling through the desert. He stops every so often, and I guess it uses its like mental powers to blow people's brains out or something. Yeah, it's weird.
Maximum Overdrive, man.
That was good. The Mighty Duck guy trapped in a gas station with 18-wheelers trying to kill him. What was it? It was the Green Lantern, right? The 18-wheeler with the giant green face on it.
Green Goblin.
Green Goblin. There you go. Yeah, my older brother, before he passed, he was huge into finding those weird movies like Rubber or anything horror he loved. And so as a kid, he would go to Blockbuster, and he'd get like 4 or 5 tapes, and he'd let us pick out one. And he would always get like 4 tapes of horror, and we'd get something, you know, whatever we were into that week or that year. But after a certain while, you know, we started watching what he was watching, and yeah, just horror movies every week, dude. Like I've gotten my fill of horror movies probably for my whole life, but there's something about them makes me want to go back and watch them from time to time. And Rubber was right there with it. He would have loved that one. What about you, Nano? When you go back in the day to Blockbuster, what did you pick out?
I don't know.
So it wasn't the
Ken
same
Tech?
thing every week. It was just kind of like, let me peruse and see what's out.
Yeah. We rented video games too. Did you guys rent video games back in the day?
No, we weren't.
Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo was there. We saw them, but you know, I was a kid, so I kind of had to pick with the parents. And it was always movies.
SNES, man.
I remember Tecmo Super Bowl when it came out for the Sega Genesis. We rented that, and we played that in my buddy's garage. He had his Sega and his TV in the garage or whatever set up, and we played that like every night for like a week. We kept that thing so long that it was just easier for me to buy it than it was to pay the late fee. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
And it was like $80 or something like that back then. You know what I mean? So, but we ended up buying it, and we'd have tournaments. There's like 4 or 5 of us guys. You know what I mean? We were teenagers. You know, I mean, not like 16, 17. We were like 18 to 20. You know what I mean?
Okay,
So,
yeah.
you know, we were hanging out, you know, doing that. Instead of playing cards, we would play Tecmo Super Bowl.
Now, you know, if you enjoy it, I played Punch-Out like that. We even had, but I was a kid when I was playing that one. We had different chairs, and the most comfortable chair was for the person who won. This was your ranking.
Nothing beats classic Dungeons and Dragons, man.
Rock and Roll Racing was the game that wore out of Sega's. Our Sega's. This is what he's going for. I don't think I saw Rock and Roll Racing. Did you?
I've heard of it.
Look that one up.
You know what doesn't
Rock
get
and
love
roll
is 3DO. Had a couple of good titles.
The who?
3DO.
Oh, yeah. Rock and Roll Racing. Wikipedia.
I wasn't ever a big racing guy, but like if
Cruising
it was a
USA?
battle one, it was pretty cool. Yeah, cruising, not bad, but like I think it was called Road Rash or something
Road
like that, where
Rash.
you're motorcycle and you hit each other or kick each
Yeah.
other or whatever.
Off-road?
That was fun.
That Rock and Roll
King-
Racing kind of looks like off-road.
King's Up.
They're the one with the ice cream truck and the rocket launchers.
Oh, yeah. Was that like this insane clown posse something?
Yeah.
Crazy Taxi, I think is what it was called, wasn't it? Or something like that? Crazy Taxi? Or something like that? Yeah, see, those are fighting, kind of, or, demolition, kind of. Whoa.
Mario
Got
Karts?
got several. Yeah, that kind of stuff I like. Just racing, though? You know what I mean? No, not so much. Like, I wasn't a big, well, maybe you do other stuff. Need for Speed? No.
Yeah, that's what I was
you know
thinking.
what I mean? NASCAR games? No.
Crash Derby.
I guess I shouldn't be surprised that they have NASCAR games, but I haven't seen any.
Oh, yeah, they have NASCAR games. I owned one for the 64. And, like, well, my buddy lent it to me or something. We were you know how you trade games with your buddies or whatever? He gave me that for, like, a week or something. I don't know. And I was like, I went around the circle, like, 3 times, and I turned it off. Because, like, what you did was go around the circle, man.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, that thing kicking your face in, dude.
they stopped the trade thing as far as being able to do that with your friends because everything's digital now.
Steam lets you trade still, doesn't it? Even your digital stuff? Or
Can
not?
you?
I think so. They have something you can trade, don't they?
For like
I don't know.
you can trade games for like a week and then you get them back.
I think there's something, or you can cash them back in, or something, or maybe that's just the achievement, little badges. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
something
now
you
do
can
that with
trade.
achievements.
Maybe that's what it is.
It's kind of like Mario Kart from back in the day. I played Mario Kart and loved Mario Kart for so many years. That thing is absolutely amazing. I eventually kind of went. Oh, the priest is up too.
There's one here. I'm at 10M, 15M. Just so I'm good with chain pulling, but if we could die, it won't be fun to chain pull.
Yeah, I eventually went more towards the PlayStation and Xbox than I did towards the Nintendo. So I know they probably have like 3 or 4, versions of Mario Karts that I did not get to play. Mainly the ones on the Wii or the Wii U. Or...
I mean, the DSs are still, forms of it, and that's what a lot of people kind of went away from the consoles. They still kept up with the Nintendo DSs, whatever, 3DS, DS, DS Lite, whatever. Because those, my son had a 3DS, and I don't know, something about how they connected on the bus. The guys could play each other, you know what I mean? Like race each other on the bus through the Wi-Fi or something. I don't know, but that was pretty cool. You know what I mean? That he could ride the bus to school when he was that age, and they could be on different 3D, DSs, and they could race each other, you know what I mean, or play against each other while they were on the bus, which is pretty awesome. We didn't, back when we did that, we had to have each have a cord, and then we had to put it into a connector, and you know what I mean, turn it on at the same time, and you know what I mean.
So
I still have all that stuff.
We got a bracer and a breastplate.
Breastplate's pretty nice, and I'm at 25. Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead and random 100, guys, if you want the bracer. Oh, nice, 98.
I can't sit.
Big Beef Stud Pile. It's a great name. I gotta give it to you on that one.
And Murray Pops. Unless that's another pool. I don't know.
Oh yeah, this is Soul B right now. We were in Split Paw. I do actually have it listed as Paw still. Let me change that. And I have it as listed as a wizard too. There we go. That's fixed. Okay, so he can't loot anything, so he's passing on loot. Ooh, nice. 87, man. The Ogre Warrior is too OP, please nerf. I think that would be a funny combination, but I think if you're going to do that, especially if like Pantheon decides to make more classes than EverQuest had, or more race combinations with those classes, they need to be nerfed more than their intelligence is on this one. Like 60 intel is pretty horrible for a class to start with if you're going to be a wizard, but I'd like to see it in like the 20s, just because you're going to have access to things as a warrior or as an ogre that you don't have with any of the other classes, like the slam and things of that sort. You should have like just this ultimately pitiful amount of mana pool just to be like, I'm playing it on super hardcore. Like the game's already hard enough as it is, but I'm going to pick like the worst race I can possibly pick for this class, above and beyond what anybody else would ever do, just to be unique, just to give myself a harder time. And you kind of get to have the satisfaction of knowing you're probably never going to see another one like it in the game, because nobody's going to do that except somebody who's crazy. So, oh, someone looted the breastplate. Did they?
Oh no, I don't see it. Where was it?
It was out
Was
here
it
in the
out there?
hall.
Oh, okay. I thought somewhere else.
Who won?
Sorry, me. I think.
I already have one, so somebody wants to come over and snag it.
Yeah. This way. Not that way. I went through the invisible wall. I need the mid though. Shouldn't be looting too much.
Maybe I shouldn't have grabbed that.
What's that?
Oh, roll, man. Roll. I got an 87.
Because I got that. Hold on.
Unless you need it for an upgrade.
I got the Raven scale.
You want this? Is this an upgrade?
Don't you think the Raven scale would be a little bit better? It's got better armor.
Does it have strength? Because I don't know. I ain't telling you what to do, but like my rogue, I go for whatever has strength on it. That's just me.
+5 to strength and +15 to hit points.
Yeah.
Safe versus disease and poison.
That's pretty decent.
Yeah, Raven Scale's kind of made for it.
Yeah, it's made for rogues.
Corpse Lust.
I took out my mage out there and farmed for it.
Excuse me.
But yeah, I'm still kind of hopeful about Pantheon. We'll see where it's going. I do know that people have been talking about how it's coming out as far as the super early access, $1,000 buy-in access for Christmas. So if you've been one of those guys,
Crap.
yeah, it's $100 for 10 months or $1,000 straight up or something. It's a bit outside my price range.
Oh.
Yeah, there's two Camelot Unchained coming out, which seems interesting, and one called Crowfall. Two MMOs that are supposed to be coming out this year.
What's the Crowfall one kind of about, man?
Very similar, kind of the Camelot Unchained. I think it's the graphics almost are more cartoony, almost like Overwatch, but not with animals, you know what I mean? But the people are kind of a little more cartoony, but it's PvP and PvE.
Now, do you find game companies do the cartoony, different kind of look to it because they don't have the money to do realistic graphics? or most of the time they do it because they're trying to portray a different type of gameplay than graphics that go with hardcore first-person shooter kind of things.
I think there's they look at successful games. Sorry, I'm eating at the same time. Overwatch is successful. League of Legends is successful. Excuse me, and that's kind of what these graphics remind me of. Stuff like that. You know what I mean? So maybe they're just going with the flow.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe. Let's see. Not in game, just online. Didn't know your character names. I don't know if you remember me or not, but when you and Cypher and the crew decided to try out Red P99, I helped you guys out with some gear reports, etc. Yeah, we did get helped out by a few people over there on P99 Red. Pretty cool little community. Unfortunately, little is the word because there just wasn't a lot of people over there. I think the max we ever saw was 100. And nowadays, I think it's even less.
I still haven't made a character over there. I think one of the streamers went over there, though, Dumbluck or whatever. I think he went over there and made a character. He's been streaming over there. Can't remember his channel name now, but he must enjoy it because he's been there for a little bit, or has been.
Closer to 30 max now, so yeah, it dropped dramatically down from the 100. What do you think the Red players feel about them wiping that server and starting over? I imagine the 30 that play on there would not like it, but it seemed like when it first came out, everybody had an even chance. There was a lot more people on there, and if it kind of comes down to giving people a chance again, maybe they could just shut the server down and not wipe it, start another server up, and then once it gets back to the point that they have kind of met up with the other server, let people log into those characters again. I just gave up on Dead 99 level coming over to blue. So he's coming over to blue because Red is dead. Yeah.
The nice thing about Red is, I mean, if you are in those 30 people and your 30 people are the guild, the only guild there, and you could at least see all the mobs. You wouldn't have, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't have to race for dragons and...
Hey, anybody want to
You know what I
borrow
mean?
3 kids for a few years?
I'm good, thanks.
Why? What are they doing tonight, man?
Just being kids.
Yeah, that's the most enjoyable time. You got to take time and just kind of...
How do you know this, dude?
Jot that down as memories, because I don't have kids, which means I can enjoy it from far away.
I wish I could degauss these memories. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I don't know. I enjoy it when I go over to my sister's house and see her kids, but
Oh, it's great when you have nieces and nephews, dude.
yeah, I wouldn't want to take it home with me all the
You
time.
wind them up, do what you want to do, and then you just release, and you run away.
Yep.
I always tell people, you know why Homer Simpson doesn't have any hair?
They even did an episode where they talked about that. He kept pulling his hair out.
Yes. Yes.
Funny,
What
I'm
was the
balding
reason?
in the back. You know what I'm saying?
What? In the back?
Yeah, like monks. They get that bald spot back there.
Oh, the top of the back.
Yeah.
I thought you were like from your neckline up. I was like, that's weird, dude.
Alopecia, leave me alone.
For some reason, that's what I envisioned. Like, no party in the back, you know?
Touche, got you.
Mm-hmm.
I got good kids, man. I'm lucky.
It's because their dad will beat them if they're not good.
I'm straight.
Nah, it sounds like they behave most of the time, so I think you do
they
get good
do,
kids.
man.
My niece
Dude, them
and
have great sense of humor, smart. I'm really lucky. Sure as hell didn't come out like me.
that brownie batter looks and smells amazing. Wow.
Era needs to stop, dude.
I
I'm
know,
gonna time
right?
her out.
Like I kind of
Seriously,
want a
dude?
brownie. I don't have any
Kinda?
here yet.
Why kinda, dude? Why kinda?
Well, because kinda as in, if I really wanted one, I'd be driving to the store right now, and she's kind of making me want to do that. So it's still early enough that I could probably get there and make
So-
my brownies. Hey guys, and welcome to the disembodied voice of AC Gamer. We are definitely going to be doing a lot more series in the future, but here are a few of them that you guys might find interesting. Of course, you're more than welcome to check them out. I would love to hear your comments. Again, if you do enjoy these videos, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. It's definitely the indicator that I use to tell if you guys want to see more videos like that, of that particular game style, of that series in the long run. So when you guys leave comments down, it helps me decide whether we should keep doing it, as well as whether you want to see games like that in the future. And here are a few of them right here. I kind of picked out a few of different genres. We will be doing spotlights for other YouTubers in the future. So if you want to get a little shout out, definitely let me know. If you group with me, chances are you will get a shout out in here eventually. But for now, these are just 4 series that I have that I feel like could use a little bit more attention and that you guys might actually enjoy as well. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we will definitely catch you all next time.